Most of us don't think about volunteering when we get up in the morning. At that time of day, most of us don't think of all the people in the world who need help. Most of us are lucky we don't have to worry about needing help. But all of us aren't as fortunate. All of us don't have someone to help us. All of us don't have family members who care. So what can we do to help? We can get involved. We can volunteer. It's as simple as taking a few minutes to visit an elderly person in a nursing home. It's as simple as taking your lunch hour to deliver meals. It's as simple as taking an hour to drop by the library and read at story time. Or it can be as complex as teaching someone to read or mentoring a child who may drop out of school. Volunteering on an individual basis is not new. It's been around way before someone offered another person a hand as they stepped off the Mayflower. Volunteering can be done in many ways. United Telephone of Florida employees have found that they can volunteer through their company. That's not new either. Thomas J. Watson Sr., who built IBM and led the company for more than 40 years, said, "I urge all our people to get interested in something outside IBM. Make some contribution to local civic and social affairs." Other companies have since paved the way with formalized volunteer programs. Some of them have the team approach, like United Telephone. Some of them have programs for individual volunteers. Some have work release programs. United Telephone began its Community Relations Team Employee Volunteer Program in 1986. Today, the CRT program covers all of United of Florida's 24 counties. The program is run by 22 CRT steering committees around the state. Since members of the committees live and work in the communities they represent, they have a good feeling for what the needs of their communities are. The committees are made up of employees at all levels and from various departments who are charged with the responsibility of determining the needs of their communities and initiating projects to meet those needs. The committee then appoints a project leader who is responsible for the details of putting the actual project together. It is the responsibility of the committee and the project leader to recruit co-workers to complete those projects. Being part of the team means proudly wearing United Telephone's blue CRT t-shirt. The shirt is a visual reminder to those who wear it and to those they meet along the way that this is a team that not only works together, but volunteers together. In many of United Telephone's communities, the shirts are so familiar that the CRTs are simply known as United Telephone's blue shirts. Once the blue shirt is on, the fun begins, and volunteering can be fun. United Telephone CRT volunteers do all types of projects because they have all types of employees who want to meet all types of community needs. For 2 years, United CRTs help fight drugs with its United Against Drugs campaign. Volunteers then turn their focus to helping preserve the environment with an effort called United for Our Environment. In addition to their statewide focuses, volunteers build playgrounds and outdoor classrooms and boardwalks and even beds for bed races to benefit Special Olympics and MDA. And they help kids, big ones, little ones, hospitalized ones, and seriously ill ones. They help the elderly. And they help the homeless. But what makes an employee a volunteer?
I've been volunteering all of my life. My mother was a volunteer, my grandmother was a volunteer. I've been involved in all kinds of activities because of them. Then also my sister had polio and was the poster child for March of Dimes. She's just a few years older than me, so when I came along, they were involved in this, and I was tagging along to all those events. So volunteering's been in my life as long as I can remember, and I thought everybody did it, and it was just what everybody got involved in until I got out into the big world and met other people. My community is rural that I'm from, and everyone did that thing. The volunteer fire department, volunteer emergency squad, everyone helped everyone out. And then when I moved into the big city and found out it was different, that's when I learned that you had to recruit volunteers and things were differently. When I moved to Florida, the first thing I did was walk into the volunteer offices that I had been involved with and say, "Hi, I'm here, I'd like to volunteer," and they put me to work and expanded all my activities from there.
What volunteering has meant to me through the years is an opportunity to give something back. I've been very fortunate. I've received a lot of kind and gracious gifts, not only from other individuals in this world, but also from this company. And when you have the opportunity to give back some portion of what you received, it's a very warm feeling within. We don't always have the opportunities, but when we do, if we have the time, we try to seize that. And with working with the different projects, the homeless shelters, working with different parks, organizations, the March of Dimes walkathons, that's an opportunity to give back. My daughter and myself and my wife, we have walked in the March of Dimes as many times as we could, and we've had a lot of fun with that.
You know, you may not think so, but there is a ton of research available on why someone volunteers. And what the research tells us is they volunteer to make it a better community, but in the process they become a better individual. And what's a better individual? It's someone that feels like they're making a difference in their community. And wouldn't it be great to live in a community where every person brought that gift and the community was enriched by everyone sharing their special talents? And that's what volunteerism can do right now.
And why does a company that has more than 4,600 employees care about volunteering?
Any company needs to care about volunteering, particularly ours. We're in a service industry with products and services that consumers need, and we need to encourage to continue to need. Any company has a social responsibility, and clearly ours is no different. Whether it's me personally or any employee, if we don't fulfill our role to society, society will use a governmental agency whose track record has been proven to be far less effective than the one that we can apply. So if we're going to fulfill our moral role, which I believe all of us have, participating in the community is the best way to go about it. And doing it associated with the company that you work for serves two needs: a personal need in fulfilling the community, and a second is demonstrating the support of the company, one which I hold in very high regard.
And is volunteering really worth it?
I think the CRT program is a tremendous program, not only for the people that the CRT groups are out there to support, but I think it gives the employee themselves a real sense of accomplishment. People I talk to, they're real proud of what they've been able to do to help, and their enthusiasm is really terrific. They find out that there are needs in the community that they wouldn't otherwise realize exist. And by going out and being a part of a large group, they're able to accomplish an awful lot that you couldn't do on an individual basis. So there's a sense of pride and a tremendous accomplishment with the CRT groups that you wouldn't be able to accomplish if you were just out on your own getting involved in community.
I can remember one time when we went bowling, and we had a little boy who always kind of stood by mom, close to mom, didn't want to go and do anything with a group of people. And I can remember that day we got him to put on his bowling shoes, and we thought, oh, that's wonderful. He got on his shoes and he's walked a little bit away from mom. Okay, that's wonderful. Maybe that'll be all for the day, but that's still wonderful. The last game, the last bowling, he found this special friend, and she encouraged him. He went with her, and he bowled with his friend, with the volunteer. And that mom came up to me and said, we have been waiting and waiting and waiting for this to happen all year. Finally, we go bowling with volunteers, and this happens. So that was probably one of the most special things that I remember about parents. We have been encouraging this child so much, and one volunteer on a Saturday helped us immensely.
So it's not surprising that these employees meet every year to learn more about volunteering and more about how they can be even better volunteers. And it's not surprising that over the last 5 years, they have donated more than 100,000 hours of community service during non-work hours. They just like to help. If you'd like to learn more about volunteerism or would like to set up a volunteer program where you work or with your group, contact the Volunteer Center listed in your phone directory or call the Points of Light Foundation.